Well, for more on the annual government work report, I'm joined by Perry Wong, live from Los Angeles. He's Managing Director of Research at the Milken Institute. Welcome to the show, Perry.
Thank you, Michelle.
Now, Premier Li Keqiang delivered the annual government work report. So what were the key issues highlighted?
There are many of them, actually. To the foreign investors, I think to do business a lot better, allowing more investment to get into China, that will be a very welcoming news to foreign companies. I think even for the Chinese company too, particularly for the private sectors, that when they hear the word that the government would reduce the administrative and business operation costs, meaning taxation, I think that's equally a powerful message to the entrepreneurs. And I think another highlight is the government actually start to pay attention to risks in financial sectors. That would be an area that I think worth noting.
Now, in terms of the economy, what does the report tell us about the areas and industries that China really wants to develop?
Technology, anything that I think can make or to deliver a path or to reach the goal to make the 2025 manufacturing goals or production goal. I think that's a very broad objective. I think more importantly, I think the Chinese leaderships and actually among the business people too, they are thinking a pathway to make the Chinese economy more innovative. So those are the important signal and I think the benchmark that we should look for.
Now, clearly a lot of growth engines that China has, and it is working with a slower growth rate of 6.5%. How does that balance with its plan to create 11 million new urban jobs this year?
The job number is on the government side. I think that the Chinese government are quite good, I think, in tuning the economy through credit expansions, through retaining of jobs if you need be, to maintain the targets. However, I think the subtlety or the important balance of maintaining job and allowing the economy to go through structural reform sometimes can be in a contradictory path. So that's something I think it needs to be to do a very good balancing act to achieve both goals.
Now, speaking of that balancing act of structural reform and growth, what needs to happen for China to really sustain that growth?
I think really a couple of things. I think one, to search for the growth engine. I think the consumption is one area that for the last 2 or 3 years, the government have been promoting. That's good, but then I think equally important is the Chinese entrepreneur companies and government especially have to look for a model that can really jack up the value offering from China's manufacturing, service, all sectors, literally, to make the economy high-paying economy, high value-added economy. And that's not an easy task, but that's the only way I think the Chinese economy can escape, so to speak, the middle income trap. So that's a very urgent goal.
Now, let's also look at real estate. We know that the government took measures to try and cool the market. So what can we expect in terms of China's housing market going forward?
I think we should look at, long ago, people should look at the Chinese property markets as multiple markets. So I think the Chinese government this time came up with something a little bit more specific by focusing on balancing both the rural or smaller third and fourth tier city property markets vis-a-vis the larger first tier city markets because they are very different. And so I'm looking forward to learn a little bit how they can promote home ownership appropriately in the right pricing on the third and fourth tier city while trying to supply more housing in large cities such as Shanghai and Shenzhen.
Now, Perry, obviously, as the world's second biggest economy, the world is going to be watching what happens in China. How do you think they're going to receive this report?
I think to people that look for a deeper, more long-lasting structural reform, they might look at as the Chinese growth target is a bit too high because it would kind of imply the Chinese government would continue to support the credit expansion, which is not too good a news, I think, in some sense. And second, I think on the Asian Pacific rims, I think the growth target perhaps will support a more livelier economic exchange such as trade, investment. So it depends, I think, but all in all, I think it's good news.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you as always for joining us. Perry Wong from the Milken Institute.